Wednesday night. We're so glad to see you and to be with you again and to be with the family of God. Bless our young people as they go tonight to their place of worship, study, and prayer, and may they come back with their hearts filled up with the joy of the Lord in their hearts. We are grateful for God. Give you a little brief synopsis. Thank you for keeping the church while we were in Amarillo, Texas, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with Brother Joe Myers, and it was indeed a blessing. The Myers family are just precious people. They love God. They have a small work, a sweet work, so full of the presence of God's love in Amarillo. And they love the Lord. They love God's people. They love the Word of God. We met with people from Texas, Nevada, California, New Mexico, Oklahoma. All those people from many, many places were there. And the internet worship service going out over this ministry here that God gave to Brother Steve Cruiser to initiate in our church, it is reaching hundreds and thousands of people. It was amazing. I would have people in that meeting in Amarillo. Brother Marlow, we see every one of the services. We watch the church. We can tell you what's on the back wall back there. We know who's getting up and going out and coming in. The church is brought to us, and we see the worship. We see the expressions of the people's faces and how they love God, love the Word. And it really is a blessing to us all across the nation. From La Cruz, New Mexico, Albuquerque, people watching the work here. They're watching tonight, and they'll be seeing this service. So the Word of God is going forth, and it's touching so many people. I had one of the most wonderful experiences. There was a little lady. She must have been in her latter 80s or middle 80s. It looked like that to me. Very frail, tiny little woman, and she was in the back of the church through the meeting. Sat there, worshiped, clapped her little hands, lifted her hands, praised God, and just a sweet grandmother type of person. At the last meeting, she came up and said, Brother Marlow, I want to tell you, all the preachers in America, you're my favorite preacher. I said, I just like to hear you. I stood there and looking at her, that little frail, possibly 95-pound woman, with her hands gnarled with perhaps arthritis, arthritis. Her hands were twisted. And I said, well, that's wonderful. I said, I'm so glad that you love the Lord and you love the people of God. And she said, oh, but you know, I got on an airplane and I flew from Dallas by myself. I wanted to be here. I wanted to hear you. I wanted to be in this service. She said, I said, you're by yourself. You live alone? Yes, live alone. But I turn on the church. I turn on the church in Dallas, and I listen, and I receive. And so I said, well, that's wonderful. I said, you know, you just blessed me, encouraged me. And I said, thank you. And I thought about all the hungry hearts across America, all of the hungry people that love the Word of God. And when they get a little bit of it, that little lady will probably never be able to come here. I wish she could. And just be a wonderful witness. But I thought about how blessed this congregation is to have the Word of God, to have this lovely place of worship, to to have the joy of the Lord in our heart, and to have one another, and to have the Word of God, the Spirit of God, and to be blessed of the Lord. How blessed we are, and how blessed God is to us.
Yes, sir.
And another young man, an insurance salesman, came up. I've been watching from Albuquerque, Brother Marlow. He said, I can tell you this, God is certainly moving in your city. I said, well, he's moving in Albuquerque. He's moving across the world. And I'm just glad to share with you and you with me and see the work of God growing, increasing, and mounting up. And that's what I want to do tonight, is get into some scriptures, if the Lord allows. And you can ask questions as always. You can comment.